So the Mahdi, according to our tradition, is a normal human being of flesh and blood. He has no supernatural powers. He shall be born at the end of times and live a normal life and die, and that will be his demise. Now, the other group, the non-Sunni group, the major group that is, the second largest group of the Ummah, that group has a very different belief about the Mahdi. And they say the Mahdi has already been born, and the Mahdi for them is the 12th Imam. They have 12 Imams, according to their theology. From their standpoint, they say the Mahdi has already been born. And the Mahdi is currently alive amongst us. But he is hidden to the masses. He could be anywhere. He could be in this audience. He could be there. He could be here. He is alive and active, helping the poor and performing miracles. And according to them, he has supernatural powers. He knows ilm al-ghayb, and he can control the creation, and they give him powers that are, from our perspective, not appropriate. Like this is something only Allah Azza wa Jal has, but from their perspective, they say, no, all of the Imams have it, and this is now the 12th Imam who is currently alive, but he's in hiding. They say that the Imam is alive, but in hiding. And when the Imam returns, he's not going to be born, he's already born. He's going to be zuhur, he's going to become apparent. And he will reveal himself, kashf, he will reveal himself. Not that he's going to be born and live no, according to us, the Mahdi is going to be born normal birth, live a normal life. In fact, in one hadith, in the Musnad Imam Ahmad, there's a reference that the Mahdi might not even be pious in his youth, and he will become pious when he becomes older. The phrase is, يُصْلِحُهُ اللَّهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ. In one night, Allah will rectify him, which means he was not rectified, which means he might have not been the best person. Then one night or something's going to happen and he will become a very pious person. Then people will begin to respect him, and then people shall eventually say, we want you to be in charge. And then the times and the end of times will happen. According to the other group, the Mahdi is currently alive and hidden amongst us. And the Mahdi, when he comes back, the main purpose for that group is not to fight against Dajjal or no, it's something that is actually awkward to say, and that is, according to them, the Mahdi will bring back the rights of the Ahl al-Bayt and will exact revenge upon those that oppose the Ahl al-Bayt. And if you understand this, then fine. If not, then don't worry about it. This is one of the awkward topics. We don't want to flare sectarianism, but we have to teach facts. So we try to unify as much as possible, but this is a fact that does divide, and we try to explain without provoking hatred. We're trying to be factual without incendiary topics, but fact of the matter is, some people from that group believe that the Mahdi is going to massacre not the followers of Dajjal, but Muslims who didn't agree with their theology. And that's obviously problematic because that raises sectarianism. We strongly disagree with this. So this is Sunnism, this is non-Sunnism. I didn't mention the term. History, more than 40 people throughout all of history, we know of at least 40, there are more, I'm sure, that have claimed to be the Mahdi. More than 40, beginning with Al-Mahdi Billah, Muhammad ibn Abdullah ibn Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. This is the first, and he's within our tradition, Sunnism, right? And there were many others, Al-Harith ibn Surayj, throughout history, even recently. Any Sudanese in the audience? Where are our Sudanese friends? Where are? Okay, you know the Mahdi movement of Sudan, right? The Mahdi movement, they're still around to this day, are they not? Yes, there's still a group in Sudan. 150 years ago, somebody claimed to be the Mahdi in Sudan, and he fought the British. And for a while he was successful, then the British completely, decimated his followers, but the group remains, and he claimed he was the Mahdi. And there is a movement, to this day they have a leader, they consider him to be the Mahdi. In India as well, I don't want to be too explicit, but there is a group, some of you know it, that they are a slightly different group than ours, even though they call themselves Sunni, but they are a slightly different group, and they have a Mahdi. They're in the tens of thousands. I have met one or two of them myself. They're in the tens of thousands, and they have this. And in Iran, there came a fad 200 years ago. Multiple people claimed to be the Mahdi. And one of them founded the Baha'i movement The Baha'i Firqa, its founder was a Muslim who claimed to be the Mahdi. And then he founded and broke away. And another group called the Babis, if you know them, it's also from within that time frame. He also said he's the Mahdi. And then what happened. In 1979, I have given multiple lectures about this, right? A person claimed to be the Mahdi in Saudi Arabia. And he hijacked Mecca itself. Some of you who are above the age of 45, 50, you remember this. And I have given multiple lectures because I have interviewed dozens of people. I was too young to remember the incident, but by the time I went to study in the University of Medina, many of my teachers were undergraduates when this movement was active. So I interviewed myself multiple people who were aware of this movement, some of whom followed it for a while and then left the movement. So I interviewed myself eyewitnesses, people who were in the house of this person and discussing plans and whatnot. I have lots of information. Maybe one day I'll give more lectures because some of it is very sensitive. But in 1979, a person by the name of Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Qahtani claimed to be the Mahdi. Now, in one hadith in Sunan Abi Dawood, it mentions that the Mahdi shall be given bay'ah in front of the Kaaba, between the rukun and the maqam. That the Mahdi will take the bay'ah between the rukun and the maqam, i.e. between when it says rukun over here, it means the Hajar Aswad, and the maqam, it means the maqam Ibrahim. So between the maqam Ibrahim and the door of the Kaaba, basically, the Mahdi will be given the oath of allegiance. This is in a hadith in Abu Dawood. Okay? In a hadith in Sahih Bukhari, it mentions that, not by name, because remember, Bukhari and Muslim don't mention the Mahdi by name. But it mentions one of the signs at the end of times is that a righteous man shall flee to Mecca, and the armies will be sent against him to kill him. And Allah Azza wa Jal will cause the earth to open up and destroy all the armies, and the man shall be protected. Now, our scholars say, this is the Mahdi. The hadith does not say Mahdi, but who else can it be? And this is the predominant position, that one of the signs of the Mahdi is that the people will choose him as a leader. The actual leaders will not like the guy, so the actual leaders will want to kill him. He's going to flee for his life to Mecca. He doesn't have an army. The armies of the Muslim kings, they're going to be, in Sahih Muslim it says, 3 sons of a king are going to fight for power. And the Kaaba is going to be center. So these are all predictions towards the end of times. If you don't know, 4 years ago when I moved here, I gave a whole long series about the signs of the Day of Judgment. You can listen, right here in Epic, you can listen to that. And I went over all of these signs. So in Sahih Bukhari, it mentions that the earth shall open up and Allah will destroy the armies that are sent against the righteous man. The righteous man, who can he be other than the Mahdi? So in 1979, somebody compiled all of these ahadith and wrote a Hollywood drama. Astaghfirullah, this person mentally deranged. He said, let me hold the Kaaba hostage and let me do all of these ahadith, and Allah Azza wa Jal will send His hidden army and the earth will swallow up the army of this government and I will be safe. And so if you know what happened, on the 1st of Muharram in 1400 Hijri, auspicious new day, 1st of Muharram 1400, he locked up all of the doors of the Kaaba. He took his 550 people with armed machine guns hidden and whatnot, and they held the Kaaba hostage. They held the Imam of the Haram hostage. They took the microphone and they announced the Mahdi had come. There's actual video recordings and audio recordings on YouTube in Arabic. Very poor quality, but actual audio recordings. You can listen to them speaking if you listen very carefully because it's poor recording. And the man is quoting the hadith of Abu Dawood. The Prophet ﷺ said that the Mahdi will come and he will be given bay'ah between the rukun and the maqam. And here he is, and all of you come and give him bay'ah. You do not take a hadith and make a Hollywood drama out of it. It happens. You do not expedite it. But they thought this is their job. This is their job. Of course, hundreds of people were killed. Innocent Hujjaj were killed. For the first time in 1,000 years, Tawaf stopped around the Kaaba. For 2 weeks, the Kaaba people did not visit it. because of the hostage holding. And the army had to attack, and things happened back and forth inside the Kaaba, inside the Haram. Machine guns fighting one another, people died, bloodshed, electrocution, chemical warfare. I've gone into detail in other lectures. This happened in 1979. Literally, when I was a child, I wasn't aware of it. I'm saying it's not like generations ago. It happened in our own lifetimes. And of course, the supposed Mahdi was killed in this battle, and all of his followers were executed, that were captured alive. And clearly he wasn't the Mahdi. There was no earth swallowing up an army, whatnot. You don't play games with the Sharia. You don't put yourself, I am the Mahdi. It doesn't work that way. In fact, one of our scholars said, anybody who claims to be the Mahdi disqualifies himself from being the Mahdi.